Hi everyone, my name is Agape, and the topic under discussion today is Jack and Rose. You are tuned to Young Future TV. Probably we all know the film Jack and Rose acted in, the true stories that inspired Titanic movie characters. It's Jack and Rose's movie, but a lot of people they meet had their own incredible stories. You probably already knew that Jack and Rose, the main characters in the 1997 movie Titanic, weren't real, like all films based on a true story. The movie added its own fictional elements to historical events, but during the film, Jack and some of whom have far more interesting stories than the film addresses. The movie's writer and director James Cameron wanted to surround the role played by Leonardo DiCaprio for the Titanic Museum attraction in Missouri and Tennessee. Don Leach, the historian for the Titanic Historical Society, who also served as the 1997 film's historian, says Cameron picked out these people in advance when he wrote the script. On set, Lynch advised the actors about their historical characters' accents, behaviors, and personalities. One of these real-life characters was Margaret Brown, who was played by Kathy Bates in the film. Brown became known as the unsinkable Molly Brown because of her role during and after Titanic disaster in April 1912. Once the Carpathia rescued the Titanic survivors who'd escaped in the lifeboats, Brown coordinated with others first-class passengers to help the lower-class survivors. In one of her most memorable scenes in the movie, she tries unnecessarily to persuade her underfilled lifeboat to row back to save more people. There are true accounts saying that she did that not banned. Yet, even with her large, vibrant role, she still didn't get to be as dynamic as history plays her to be, says Lynch. After the shipwreck, Brown created the CHAD, a survivors committee, helped arrange burials for the bodies that rescued workers recovered, and presented an award to the captain of the Carpathia for saving them. She was also vehemently upset that she was not able to testify at the Titanic hearings at the inquest because she was a woman. He says these were hearings the US and Britain held to investigate what had happened. Another prominent historical figure in the movie is Wallace Hartley, the violinist played by actor Jonathan Evans Jones. Hartley is considered one of the heroes of the Titanic because, as the film shows, he kept his band playing as the ship sank to help people stay calm, most memorably with the song Nearer, My God, to Thee. There was no effort to save themselves, Lynch says of the band members, who all died that night. They understood that the ship was sinking and that they were needed to keep people calm. And so they just kept playing. We know one of the songs they played was Nearer, My God, to Thee, because so many people claim to have heard it. He says Hartley's band likely played the British version of the song, while the movie features the American one. People get to lifeboats. Martin says he was actually offered a seat on the lifeboat, but he refused to get on board because he was helping people out. He was completely heroic. The captain's quick decision to sew the watertight doors, another real-life event portrayed in the movie, helped save lives, says Barnes. Smith's fast thinking prevented the ship from sinking like it normally would. He notes if he hadn't sealed the doors, the ship would have sunk towards the side where it hit the iceberg and then rolled over. It also would have gone down a lot quicker. In addition to Brown, Hartley and Captain Smith, the movie also features historical figures who, though they only appear briefly, had credible stories in their own right. Remember that famous scenes where Jack and Rose climb up to the stern of the ship as it sinks, while the man above them nervously takes a drink from his flask. That man, Charles Joughin, was the real-life Chief Baker on the Titanic. He went into the water while holding onto the back rails of the ship, just like he does with Jack and Rose in the movie. Archibald Gracie Ivy was another background character in the movie who provided Hammer with lines like "back to our brand." Lange says that Gracie was sucked down into the water with the ship, probably when the first part broke off, and then swam to collapsible lifeboat B. Though Gracie survived, he suffered from hypothermia and died later that year, yet not before completing his book.